Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review, so hopefully find this one interesting. This movie is a drama from France, French language, English subs, released in the year 2017, directed by Xavier Legrand, and this film is called Custody. So Custody is about a legal battle of two divorced parents who are vying for the custody of their 13-year-old son. They've got an 18-year-old daughter who's an adult now, so she's out of the picture, but the son is the centre of attention. It's having a very devastating psychological effect on him. So as the parents are trying to use the son to collect information from one another to make them look bad, he realizes that there is something about the parents that's about to come out into the open that is going to turn this legal battle into something far more dangerous. So what that is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Custody. This is a very, very little known film, so I didn't really know what to expect, but after watching Custody, I will say that I was really disappointed that not enough people talk about this movie, and it's definitely a prime example of a foreign masterpiece going by undetected because the majority of people don't want to read subtitled films. So there is a stigma behind subtitled movies that if you have to read while you watch, it's not worth it. And unfortunately, a lot of movies go by unnoticed because of this fact. But if you actually go down and actually prepare to actually do a little bit of multitasking, it's going to open your eyes up to a completely different world. And Custody is another movie that I can put onto the list of absolute masterpieces that aren't going to really get the time of day. And so that is something that really angers me, but at the same time, I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to watch this absolute masterful storyteller. Xavier Legrand, apparently this is his first movie, and that's absolutely astonishing because this is a film that I gravitated to so much stronger than a lot of films out there. This is a film that hit me on such an emotional level. It does take a very serious topic of divorce and how psychologically devastating and destroying it can be on such a young individual. And because of that, I felt so much sorrow for this young boy, what he had to go through, and his parents. On the outside, the parents look as though they're trustworthy, but then as each character starts to dissolve, I thought there were layers that were being pulled back and I didn't know who to trust. And so that lack of trust creates such a level of suspense. And because I gravitated to each and every character, I just felt on the edge of my seat. And so it is a drama, but at the same time, because the script is so strong and the story elevates itself in a very simplistic way that's very easy to follow, I just felt as though the suspenseful levels were kicking into gear. And then the final 15 minutes of this movie was unbelievable. One of the best finishes to a film that you will see. And I don't say that lightly because, you know, a lot of other films, they finish very strong. But this movie, I was left absolutely speechless by the time it finished. And so the script I thought was absolutely captivating. I could not look away from what was going on. And this is basically about a legal battle. And so that on the outside doesn't seem very interesting, but the way that this movie is shot, the way that this movie is acted, especially from Denis Ménochet. Now, Denis Ménochet was actually in Inglourious Basterds, where the Nazi was actually interviewing him as to the Jews that were hiding underneath his house. So you probably see him in that movie where he is the center stage in this film. And I thought his performance, one of the most devastating performances I've ever come across. On the outside, he does look like a very tame individual who's been unfairly treated. But then as the movie progresses, each and every character, nothing is as it seems. Your initial response to the characters completely changes, and it just takes you on an absolute roller coaster, and it's like a ticking time bomb. The pot is simmering, and when it reaches boiling point, I just couldn't take any more. And so I just couldn't believe the effect that this movie had on me. It doesn't have any soundtrack. It doesn't have any dictating qualities as to when you should be feeling sad or happy or scared. This is a film that just hits you on such a natural level, and it's such a confident film that I just felt as though the elevation of this movie, it just goes through the roof. And so you have to go and see this film. If you are a fan of foreign cinema, you probably haven't heard of this movie. I didn't really expect it to be anything like it was, but I come away from this movie just feeling so sorry for everyone involved, and a lot of fear factor was elevated. I felt as though it was just snowballing into something so bad. And so I thought this is something that affects a lot of children. A lot of parents go through divorce battles. A lot of parents will use their children as their weapon against the other one. And that is something that I definitely feel is a tragedy, because these kids, it's something that they shouldn't have to go through. And these parents don't realize what they're doing and the negative effect it can have and where it can lead to. And so this is an absolute masterclass in French filmmaking. The French have made numerous masterpieces that have gone unnoticed. And I will say that Custody is definitely one of them. So it's not a violent movie. It's not a movie that relies on cheap tricks. It's just a very solid script-based film where these characters evolve in a way that's very scary. You could almost say that it's a horror film, especially at the end, but it's definitely a movie that is relevant in today's society as far as parents are concerned who are divorced and who want to get at their spouse or their ex-spouse through their children, and they don't realize the devastating effect it's having on other people. So it's a very simplistic film, a minimalistic film with very minimal characters, but each and every character, the actors portray a really realistic response that you can really gravitate to, and it's just an absolutely heartbreaking experience. And it's an experience that I'm so glad I got the opportunity to see. As I said, it's a French masterpiece that I would highly recommend. Denis Ménochet's performance is one of the best performances you will see. And so everything just works so well, and I'm just so glad I watched it. It's a short film, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. So it's definitely a movie I will watch time and time again because it just had that effect on me. So if you feel as though it's your kind of thing, I would highly, highly recommend you go out there and see it. It deserves more attention, and it's to no surprise I'm going to give Custody 5 stars. All right, guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching movies, and I'll see you later.